Hello, I'm Declocation, and these are my thoughts on the new Blind Guardian album, Beyond the Red Mirror. This is something I've been waiting for a very long time. I am quite a Blind Guardian fanboy. I've got the Imaginations from the Other Side album artwork, the guitar with the dragons on it, tattooed on my arm, because they're my favourite band ever. So I highly anticipated this album, and these are my thoughts on it. So the first thing I thought when I first started listening to this album is it's very similarly made to A Night at the Opera. I mean, it doesn't sound exactly like that album, but there are a lot of comparisons to it that I've thought of. Like, I always thought of A Night at the Opera to be their version of like a stage musical, but done as a metal album, and that sort of feel comes across with this one as well, especially with the increased amount of orchestra. As well as it actually being a real orchestra on this album, because I'm pretty sure this is right, but don't lynch mob me if it's wrong, but I think that Night at the Opera had fake orchestra. So yeah, now this album has a real orchestra, like At the Edge of Time did. They utilise it as much as possible. Some of the songs on this album remind me of And Then There Was Silence, the final song from A Night at the Opera. The thing is with And Then There Was Silence on A Night at the Opera is that was a one-of-a-kind song, whereas on this album there's quite a few that are very much like it. So there are some points where you get sort of oversaturated, and on the first few listens, especially the first listen, even being such a Blind Guardian fanboy that I am, I found my attention drifting away, and before I knew it, the song that I was listening to was over. But hey, in one of the behind the scenes things on YouTube that Nuclear Blast have put out with Blind Guardian, Hansi himself said that it might take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times listening to fully appreciate and get into it. It didn't take me that long, but I certainly do have more appreciation for it, and I don't find myself drifting off like I did before. At the Edge of Time didn't really have this problem because they had the orchestra in it, yes, but they really kept that to the opener and closer, Sacred Worlds and Wheel of Time, whereas this happens all the way through. You kind of don't notice it as much. They don't, as in they're not really as stand out as the opener and closer is on At the Edge of Time. However, because they've used the orchestra on this album a lot more, I've incorporated a lot better the orchestra music. At some points in At the Edge of Time felt as though, not forced, but it felt as though they were saying, hey look, we got an orchestra, listen to them. Whereas on this album, the orchestra is fully integrated, almost a part of the band, and now the orchestra is part of the band's playing itself, rather than just the band's playing, but there's an orchestra as well. You see what I mean? So this album does have some of the more faster speed metal-y sort of tracks as well. Obviously we got the first one, Twilight of the Gods, that they released as a single. Prophecies is another one, and if they don't play the Holy Grail live, then I'd be very surprised, because it doesn't sound like A Voice in the Dark, but it seems to be one of those sorts of songs that they've made specifically to play live. Like, it's not too complicated to play live. It's not like Battlefield or whatever. It seems like that they actually could play that song live, and some of these other ones as well. What I like most about this album is that it's unique, in my opinion. They go places that they haven't been before in the album creation process. Especially to the keen listener, you'll definitely be able to pick up certain things, new things every time you listen to it as well. Certainly that's what's been happening to me. Same thing happened when I was listening to Time 1 by the Winter Sun. The production is something that's been getting a lot of flack on social media sites. I'm not really sure why. To me it sounds fine. Like, I thought the idea of complaining about production as if it sounds bad but the production is clean and crisp, and like nothing sounds bad. Nothing makes me go, oh god, I don't want to listen to that again. Yeah, I mean, I know there are certain people in the metal community that prefer bad sound quality, specifically in black metal circles. But I don't see why that's an issue with Blind Guardian. So long story short, production on this album is great, I think. Especially the way it all leads up to the climax, Grand Parade. I'm not counting Doom as the climax because I think that's more of an epilogue, really. So anyone really wanting the older sort of style production from the first 2, maybe 3 albums, I suggest that you go listen to them, because you won't find that here. They've made it abundantly clear with all of their recent albums that they are not going to go back to doing that sort of style. So rather than, you know, complaining on the internet, why not just go listen to them? Or hell, even, you know, just give these new albums a try for what they are. Sure, they're not like, you know, the old stuff, but does that make it bad? No, it doesn't. Speaking of which, I guess I might as well just say. So I heartily recommend this album. I think it's absolutely brilliant. There are some songs that shine a lot more than others, and there is one thing I want to say about the tracks on here. Well, 2 of them. I mentioned one of them earlier. With this edition, you get both bonus tracks. The one being Distant Memories and the other one being Doom, and Doom is only available on this one. However, I don't really think it's fair on the people who have bought the regular edition. I don't think it's fair that they don't get Distant Memories, because Distant Memories is an incredible song, and it's definitely one of my favourites on the album. You can get a limited edition of this, which is like this but smaller. It doesn't have Doom, and because of the Grand Parade song being such a good closer, I think that Doom can safely be off of that album, that version of the album. But I think that Distant Memories should be on all versions of the album. But hey, that's just my opinion, and it's their creative choice, so I can't exactly complain. So I heartily recommend this album. If you're a Blind Guardian fan, then you definitely have to hear it. For new fans of the band, or for people wanting to get into them, I wouldn't say this is the first one you should go after. I'm pretty much of the same opinion as everyone else, Nightfall and Middle Earth. But yeah, this one is essential to listen to once you are a fan of the band. So with my other review videos on albums, I've usually shown the editions that I've got before commenting on the music, but I figured that I would comment on the music, get it all out of the way for people who don't really care about the packaging or whatever, they just want to hear the music. So now instead I'm going to talk about this here. Okay, so the first thing I want to comment on is Blind Guardian's album artwork as of late. Well, pretty much since At the Edge of Time. They've used the same guides to all the artwork. The only problem is, even though, like, without question, the artwork is great, like, it's very nice looking, it's very professionally made. The only problem is, this sort of art style has been used by so many power metal bands now. Like, that's the actual album art cover. This is just the limited edition one. But yeah. So many power metal bands have used this guy for artwork that they just all look the same. Like, every single album cover artwork by this guy, it looks the same. It looks like he's done it for the same band. Like, here's just a few: Rhapsody of Fire, Storm Warrior, Ancient Bards. Like, you look up the album artwork for all of those bands, like the recent album artwork, and if you took away the logos, like the band's logos, then it looks like it's all for the same band. So, I don't know, I think it's about time that they got a new artist. I mean, like I said, the artwork is good, like, no one's disputing that, but it just looks way too similar to everybody else's album artwork. So this is the Nuclear Blast Deluxe earbook mail order thing, blah blah blah, more words. I also have the limited edition one, which is like this but smaller, and that's all on one disc, whereas this one is split into 2 discs. I thought that there would be bonus tracks on it, like bonus tracks, not just Doom and Distant Memories, but no, for some reason they split it into 2 discs. But also, you get this vinyl. I'm not going to take it out because it's just a plain black vinyl. I'm sure you know what one of those looks like. That has an alternate mix of both Grand Parade and Miracle Machine, which I'm very interested to hear. I haven't heard them yet because I haven't got my vinyl player set up, but I'm very interested to hear those because I like the originals and I'd like to hear an alternate version. So yeah, that was a very good bonus as well. Now, the reason why I got the other limited edition, the smaller version of that one, is because EMP, the merchandise website, the UK one at least, I'm not sure about other countries, they were doing an edition that came with a mirror, and obviously it's this mirror that's on the front here. So I thought, well, since I've got the At the Edge of Time Pyramid and I've got the Twist and the Myth book with the wax stamp and everything, I thought I've got to get that as well. So yeah, here it is. That's the Blind Guardian mirror. I don't know if the light's really shining on it or anything. I've got a viewfinder on my phone, not phone, camera. I thought that it would be a little bigger than this, but to be fair, it does reflect, so it is a working mirror. But yeah, it looks nice. People have asked me why the mirror isn't red, and I told them that the mirror itself is not red, the energy from the dimension that's through the mirror is red, and because of how light works, it just makes it look like the mirror's red. I don't know why I had to explain that, but I did. So yeah, this mirror is a pretty cool inclusion. But obviously the main article is this. Like, this is the one you want to get. This is the one with the complete album with Distant Memories and Doom on it. The artwork on the inside, there's an awful lot of written stuff in here. Like this page that comes out, and it's got the German and English, and it's got like what seems to be diary entries, but they're from recent times, October 2014 up until November 2014. But it's written in terms of the story, but like it doesn't really make any sense because it just starts nowhere and finishes nowhere, so I really don't know what's up with that. But there is a nice little prologue here right at the start as well, before you go into the lyrics of the songs, so that you know what the story's all about. But again, even this information here is a bit vague, so it's kind of hard to really get it. But there's more information as you go through the book as well, and some more lovely artwork. Yeah, like the words of the Crow, just like massive walls of text. But you do get some cool artwork too. Like you get all of these characters here, don't know if you can see them, but like Space and Time and the Crow and some others as well. Yeah, just nice little inclusions. I'm not sure if they're exclusive to the yearbook, but yeah, they're pretty awesome. So I think it's worth the price. I would definitely recommend this over any other edition, especially if you're a massive Blind Guardian fan. But obviously if you're not a massive Blind Guardian fan, then just go for either the normal limited edition so that you get Distant Memories. Or if you're just starting to get into Blind Guardian and you want to get this album first, then just get the normal edition, it's fine. It's all great music anyway. So anyway, that was my thoughts on the new Blind Guardian album. Heartily recommend it. Definitely get the deluxe earbook edition. It doesn't cost too much, I don't think, maybe about £30, but considering most people get music for free these days, £30 probably sounds like a million to them. But no, I think it's worth it. You should definitely buy it. Great music, and can't wait to see some of these songs live. So thank you very much. I've been Declocation. I'll see you again.